We are taking you on a trip to Aachen, Germany's westernmost city, right next to the Netherlands and Belgium. It's a typical place, but famous for one very special building, the cathedral. Aachen's a city with a very ancient cathedral, and most famous as the home of Charlemagne. That great European leader Charlemagne was the Holy Roman Emperor who came here in the year 768. Charlemagne spent most of his final years in Aachen, and he ordered the cathedral to be constructed, and it still stands today, as you will see while we explore that magnificent building, which is one of the most important architectural landmarks in Europe. I arrived in Aachen by bus from the nearby Dutch city of Maastricht. I'll show you some of that bus ride at the end of the program. The bus drops you off right in the center of town. Then it's a 500-meter walk to the cathedral. If you arrive by train, the station is twice as far, just over 1 kilometer away from the center. Two other main sites are City Hall and the Market Square. Everything is quite close together here in the pedestrian center of the old town. In a few minutes, we'll show you these charming lanes with the outdoor restaurants and locals taking a stroll. We'll have a look at the Market Square with its colorful produce and inexpensive eating. Less than €5 for a casual stand-up bratwurst and fries. Next to that, we'll bring you inside the City Hall. Aachen's other remaining historic building dates to the early 14th century. Take a lunch break in the park and enjoy the historic old buildings. The pedestrian zone is rather small, just 400 meters across, with the dome or cathedral at the center, as usual in a medieval town plan. We'll show you more of this lovely town in a short while, but the reason that you would come to Aachen is to visit the cathedral, a place so important that 43 kings and queens of Germany were crowned here. The Aachen Cathedral was built between the year 793 and 813, making it 1,200 years old. It's an incredible structure. The cathedral was built in two different architectural styles in two different time periods. Early 9th century Byzantine, that's 1,200 years ago, and then later Middle Ages, a Gothic extension of the choir with the stained glass windows around it. The surface area of the stained glass is more than 1,000 square meters, based on the model of Sainte-Chapelle in Paris. From the outside, you can see the Gothic features of the pointed arches and the buttresses holding up the walls. It's one of the oldest cathedrals in Europe. The original part is the octagonal chapel in the middle, called the Palatine Chapel, with 8 large columns holding it up, and beyond there are some smaller chapels around it. That early Byzantine architectural style was influenced by churches in Ravenna and Constantinople. It was huge for its day. The width and height of the chapel were the largest ever built north of the Alps until the Middle Ages, when the large Gothic cathedrals were constructed. Not only is the cathedral a UNESCO World Heritage Site, it was in the very first list ever published. The first 12 sites were declared in 1978. With this cathedral among them. Now there are over 1,000 UNESCO World Heritage Sites. So that's another indication of the extreme cultural and historic importance of the dome. As usual, with such an extraordinarily beautiful and complicated structure, you have to see it in person. Pictures just do not do it full justice. You'll get some idea from looking at the images, but being inside this building is an otherworldly experience. You will be enraptured and awestruck in looking around at the dazzling beauties of this amazing structure. The best way to appreciate such a complicated space is walk to various locations so that you can gain perspective on the different angles. And then you may sit down in peace and just absorb the quiet beauty of this wonderful space. Aachen and the cathedral were so important to the Emperor Charlemagne that he is buried here in this golden coffin. in a place of honor in the choir with the vaulting Gothic arches and stained glass windows all around him. The entryway is decorated with a bronze pine cone statue from antiquity that was probably part of a fountain, with little holes for water to shoot through. Another bronze statue of a bear dates to the 10th century, serving as a ferocious guardian. The exterior of the Gothic portion of the church has many statues typical of that time period, portraying saints and apostles in a grand setting surrounded by the stained glass windows, the buttresses, and the pinnacles. The building stands in the middle of the pedestrian zone, so all of a sudden outdoors it's quite lively with people walking, and there's shops and restaurants, so let's go take a look. You've seen how Aachen is worth visiting just because of that one building, the magnificent cathedral, but now you'll see that the town itself, especially here in the historic center in the pedestrian zone, is really a most enjoyable place to spend some time. As we've seen already, this central zone is not huge. It's about 400 meters across, so really quite easy to wander around. You might spend a couple hours here, have a meal, do a little shopping, and just relax. No cars allowed in this peaceful neighborhood, but you've got the bicycles, and some bikers appear able to carry large cargo on their bike. That's quite a challenge. Of course, you're going to see quite a few dogs out for a walk with their owners on a leash. Sometimes they see friends they haven't seen in a while and have a little happy reunion. Dog lovers will have a ball. This couple just had a very successful shopping expedition with these boxes filled with fresh produce because they are coming from the outdoor market just around the corner. The market takes place twice a week on Tuesday and Thursday mornings from 7 a.m. till 2 p.m. in the market square just in front of the picturesque town hall. We'll take you inside it in a couple minutes. There's also a market for fresh organic produce every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. till 2. Along with fresh fruits and vegetables, you'll find some flowers. There's also some clothing available, but not many souvenirs. This market is more for locals rather than tourists. But of course, visitors love this kind of authentic experience and a chance to eat some very tasty, inexpensive food. This booth was a very popular spot, dishing up just 4 basic items. There's Reibekuchen, which is a potato fritter deep fried, bratwurst, French fries, and currywurst. This is outdoor casual dining at its best. There are a couple of tables, or just eat standing up at the counter. The large historic building next to the marketplace is the Rathaus, or City Hall, with 50 statues of kings of Germany on its facade. The building was constructed between 1330 and 1380. Open to the public with a small admission fee as a museum. Most impressive is the Coronation Hall, or Kaisersaal, where the banquets were held after crowning a king. It's 45 meters long, spanning the entire length of the building. Naturally, this town hall has gone through some renovations and reconstructions during its 650-year history. It was severely damaged in World War II, but you'd never know it with the way it looks today. There's an impressive variety and style of rooms with Baroque and Rococo and Gothic, and yet it's a small enough building that you can do a complete visit in 30 minutes. Well worth it. The Ratskeller restaurant is on the ground floor, serving German-style cuisine in a medieval setting. Pontstrasse is a quaint pedestrian lane with those cafes that provides our last look at the historic center of town. On our way to the bus stop for our journey out of here, we passed through a popular little park, Elisengarten, packed with students having lunch. Next to it is the Elisenbrunnen, a pump room famous for its spa waters. Out front, there's some kids having fun with the Macarena. We are taking the bus back to Maastricht, and there's a convenient bus stop right behind Theaterplatz in Aachen. Bus number 50 will take you directly from Aachen to Maastricht. No change of bus needed. It's a 50-minute bus ride, and quite pleasant. You're going through some open countryside. While riding on the bus, you might even make a new friend. The scenery is quite nice along the way. Most of the route is green fields and low hills and trees, and there's some crops growing. You'll pass by some cows, a few old chateaux, all of which makes the 50-minute trip pass very quickly. And the bus provides a smooth, comfortable ride. We have returned to Maastricht in the Netherlands. It's the southernmost city of the Netherlands, and it's been our home base for a couple of days while we've been viewing Maastricht City itself and this trip out to Aachen. This is part of our in-depth series that we've been showing about the Netherlands and nearby sites today, Aachen. There are 24 movies in our Dutch collection. Be sure to look for them. We upload a new travel movie every week, so if you want to be informed, please subscribe and click that little alarm bell so you'll be notified. And if you enjoyed the movie, how about a thumbs up? And we always welcome comments down below. Or if you have questions about the destination, make note and we'll answer them. Thanks for watching.